Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. This is Sean Higgins.
We have nearly made it, people. Just 90 minutes away from the start of Super Bowl 55 as the Kansas City Chiefs set to face the hometown Tampa Bay Buccaneers right here on WFMY News 2. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Luke Liddon here, joined alongside Amanda Ferguson, Jalen Silky Gilkey, and, of course, Sean Higgins behind us in the monitor. And, guys, are you excited for tonight? You ready?
Absolutely, man. Nothing beats the Super Bowl.
We've been talking about it all week. I just want to know who's going to win this.
Sean, how you feeling?
Yeah. I mean, this is maybe my favorite day of the year, even if my Panthers aren't playing. I just love the Super Bowl. I love the halftime show, the commercials, the snacks, everything about it. It's one of the greatest days of the year for sure.
And we build it up for so long, and the countdown is finally almost over. And Sean, I hear you actually have some interesting facts for us about the big game.
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, maybe just to start off, this will be the oldest quarterback matchup in Super Bowl history. Tom Brady approaching 44, 45 years old. Mahomes still just 25. That's incredible. Also, this is the second time Tom Brady will play a team trying to overcome his record of being the last team to win 2 Super Bowls in a row. Of course, he beat the Seahawks back in 2015 when the Seahawks were reigning champions. Just some other stuff just to break down this game. One of the most interesting matchups to me will be how the Bucs kind of overcome what happened to them in Week 12 when Tyreek Hill had over 209 yards in just the first quarter. He finished with something like 260 yards in the game. So are they going to overcompensate and play deep and let Travis Kelce slice them up under the, on the under routes? Or are they going to, just kind of pick their poison individually per drive? The Bucs defense, phenomenal. They have one of the lowest yards per play. I think it's 5.1 yards per play. That's like top 5 in the league. Obviously, they just handled another top offense in Green Bay for the NFC Championship game. So how are they going to, just like I said, react to what happened in Week 12, react to this powerful offense of the Chiefs? And Tom Brady, I just can't believe it. I was in 3rd grade the first time he played in the Super Bowl. And here he is again. They're rolling. They've won 7 straight. They're averaging like 35 points a game during that span. That's just incredible. But I really think that the key to this game is going to be that Chiefs defense. Can they do enough like they've done all year long to give their offense the edge? Only 6 times this year have they allowed more than 24 points. So I think that's the golden zone right there. If the Bucs score more than 24 points, they might have a chance to win. But if not, I don't know if they can keep up with the Chiefs.
Can we just talk about really quickly Tyreek Hill, 200 yards in the first quarter?
Unbelievable. Never done before. Probably won't ever be done again.
Maybe tonight.
Never.
Maybe tonight, right?
Maybe tonight. Maybe. So we were talking about, we want to hear from the fans on Facebook also about the predictions.
And of course, we want to hear from you. Text us your Super Bowl predictions to 336-379-5775, and we'll share some of those later in our show.
I cannot wait to hear that. And this also has to be a pretty cool sight for Tampa fans. Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida has been switched from the home of the Bucs, as we know, to the home of Super Bowl 55, and this is actually the first time ever a team has played a Super Bowl at their home stadium. But as you'd expect, Raymond James won't be packed full of fans this year for the big game due to health and safety protocols. The NFL invited 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers and 14,500 paid attendance fans to be at this game. To fill the rest of the seats, the Super Bowl is taking a page out of 2020's playbook and placing cutouts of fans in the stands. The Fan in the Stand cutout program lets people upload a photo of themselves or someone else, and they will be then printed out. They actually cost about $100, with a portion of those proceeds being donated to local charities picked by the fans' home team. And if you bought a cutout, Jalen, Amanda, did you guys?
No thanks. It's not in my budget.
Not in your budget. Maybe next year. Hopefully there'll actually be fans in the stands next year, the full stadium. But you'll also be entered to win a pair of tickets to the 2022 Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
There are millions of Americans who dream of attending just one Super Bowl. As we mentioned, this year the NFL is making that dream come true for 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers. Jalen, you talked with two of our local physicians who will be in Tampa for the big game.
Absolutely. Two Wake Forest doctors have been friends for 20 plus years. Every year for a decade plus, their group of 10 friends from their residency program gather to watch the Super Bowl on TV. But this year, everything's changed.
What started as a tradition to keep a friendship alive for 10 former medical students?
Every year we will choose a different city. We tend to try to rent a house so that we can maximize the amount of time that we are spending together, because we are essentially a family.
But this year, it turned into a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of them. They were selected to be a part of the 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers in the stands for Super Bowl 55.
So I think most of us across the board would say that the most important thing is getting to see each other.
Dr. Manoj Periadath and Dr. Jen Hanum are both physicians at Wake Forest Baptist in Winston-Salem. They can't wait to see their friends in Tampa.
When we mark that date on our calendar, that's probably the most important thing. So I think that we would have been happy just seeing each other on Super Bowl weekend. So I would say the Super Bowl, we're very grateful to be invited. We're so thrilled to be going, but it's just icing on the cake of what was going to be a good reunion anyways.
Yeah, you at home probably want to know how all 10 got a ticket. Well, one of the friends, she wrote a letter to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell detailing their long-standing tradition and how this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity came about.
So is it too late? Can we write a letter real quick and then fly out to Tampa?
We might be able to shoot a text or email or something. See if we get there.
might not make it in time.
Or can we join the healthcare business and take advantage next year? I'm just trying to find a way to get a free ticket to the big game. Sean, you in with us?
Yeah, I mean, I'll meet you guys at the airport. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to leave this early.
Yeah, we can wrap this up and go ahead if we need to go now.
We're going to make our way to PTI. Thanks.
Health leaders wanted to stay home this year for the Super Bowl instead of having a big Super Bowl party or going out. That doesn't mean you can't celebrate the big game in a big way. Right, Sean?
That's right, and I've got some tips to help you score big while at home. Your guest list may be smaller this year, but that doesn't mean you can't think big and invite the people you've always wanted at your Super Bowl party. They're here. Chad, Julie, I'm so happy you guys could make it. Putting up a few of these faces will help fill out your room, because the only thing worse than your team not making the Super Bowl is having an empty Super Bowl party. Guess or not, Super Bowl Sunday, it's all about snacks. You'll need all your Super Bowl staples: cheese and crackers, cookies, chips and dip, a veggie tray, and chicken wing. You're also going to want to make your favorite snack. For me, that's pigs in a blanket. And for some added realism, only make a small amount of your favorite snack. That way when you go back for seconds, you get that game day disappointment of the best snacks already being gone. But it's not a party without a spill, so make sure something hits the ground before the final whistle. For some game day fun you can have with your friends and family no matter where they are, compete against each other with a Super Bowl prop sheet. Now you can make one on your own, or you can find one on WFMYnews2.com. But most importantly, grab yourself a comfy spot on the couch with a good view of the TV, surround yourself with the people who are allowed to be there, and try to enjoy yourself as you root against Tom Brady for what feels like the 55th Super Bowl in a row.
We love it, Sean. Do you have your snacks ready? Are you good to go? Well, that was a great piece. Now, have you re-upped that? Are you good to go in the next hour and a half?
Yeah, so all my snacks downstairs, they're safe. Some are refrigerated, some are just out at the table. I got Julie and Chad down there still.
Yeah,
they've been here for a couple of days, so they're ready to watch the game.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you, man. What do you dip your pigs in the blanket in? Or do you just go straight pigs in a blanket?
It depends. If there's good action in the game, I'm just eating pigs in a blanket, not looking. But if I got some time to look down, see my surroundings, I'll put some mustard on them. I'll put some ketchup on them. I've been known to dip it in ranch here and there, but you know, those are my favorites.
All right, the only acceptable answer I got there was mustard, but okay, go ahead.
I do want to ask all of you, is there a stress food that you eat if you're like, oh goodness, it's getting the pivotal time of the game, my team's losing, or they're just trailing, or we barely have the lead? Sean, I want to start with you. Is there a certain food that you munch on to calm your nerves a little bit?
Yeah, it's no food. If my team is losing or if my team is struggling, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm trying not to bite my fingernails, and I'm watching intently. You know, maybe switching positions to try to give my team a little good luck.
I am with you, Sean. I can't think about anything other than what I'm watching at the moment.
Yeah.
So food is just not a question in my mind at the time.
Jalen?
Yeah, when my team's playing, last time my Ravens won the Super Bowl, I was a hard pacer. Like, you could see where I was walking through the room. It was ridiculous.
It's hard. Like, when I was at the Super Bowl last year, there was no food, there was nothing. It was, my heart was racing so fast. Food or drink didn't even come to mind because I'm like, I can barely even speak or think of anything. So I'm kind of with you, but maybe just some drinks or some adult beverages. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. While you were at the Super Bowl last year, since Sean mentioned that realism of not having enough food, what was it like at the Super Bowl? Were there enough? Did they run out of things?
It was very expensive. Fortunately, my dad was there. He helped pay for some of it. But the food is great. That is such a wide range of food and beverages, but you got to make sure you bring quite a few Benjamins, I think, because it's pricey. It's pricey.
But they didn't run out.
They did not run out. It was great. The more food, the more drink, the merrier, right? Speaking of the Super Bowl, something else will be missing from the big game tonight. Take a look.
2, 4, 6, 8. Where are all the cheerleaders on this very important date? At Super Bowl 55, cheerleaders won't be on the field due to the NFL's coronavirus protocols, though they can perform within other parts of the stadium. The first Super Sunday to not include cheerleaders at all? Super Bowl 45. Why? Neither team playing, the Steelers nor the Packers, has cheerleading squads. Cheerleaders, a long-standing tradition, missing this year from football's biggest stage.
You know, maybe I should know this, but I never knew or realized that the Steelers didn't have cheerleaders. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
You knew, though, about the Packers, right? Because your wife is a Packers fan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, also, it's just, I mean, it's too cold up there to have people in, you know, short sleeves and skirts. It's just too cold, too much.
It's one of those things that you don't realize that you need in the game to bring that extra.
Until it's not there.
Yeah, until it's not there.
Exactly.
So we got to keep our eyes peeled. There are going to be no cheerleaders then. I guess we'll have to be the cheerleaders for the Chiefs. Right, Jalen? Yeah.
No.
You
signed up. You signed up.
We'll get to predictions later.
No, it's okay.
So I think we all might argue Super Bowl Sunday is more about the food than the actual game itself, especially if your team's not playing in it, or the commercials, or how about both. It's really the best of both worlds. A local food truck also is trying to cash in on the food craze, Jalen.
Yeah, if you're from High Point, you may have had the pleasure of knowing Miss Johnny May, and you might have been blessed enough to enjoy one of her meals. Never in her wildest dreams would she have thought her food would make it to the Super Bowl. I talked with her grandson Otis and the team from Miss Johnny May's food truck.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
For Otis Battles and the team at Miss Johnny May's Soul Caribbean Cajun Fusion, this is about way more than a food truck.
Oh, my grandmother is known as Miss Johnny Mays, a.k.a. Granny. Before she passed along all of her recipes and just how to cook to me, my mom, and her daughters. And it was just an amazing experience to be able to remember her. And that's what we chose to do, to remember her by purchasing this truck.
Miss Johnny Mays was supposed to be in D.C. for the inauguration in January, but due to safety reasons, they didn't go. However, when one door closed, another one opened up.
We were supposed to do the inauguration in Washington, D.C. We ended up not doing it because it was all virtual and it wasn't safe to go. Once you get into the pool of names for that, you're basically set for any big thing that's coming up. And so when we got the news that we were selected to go to the Super Bowl, it was just amazing. You know, it was a no-brainer. Yes, let's go. We're going to Tampa.
With his family and friends by his side and his grandmother on the side of his truck, Otis is ready to show Tampa what High Point is all about.
You know, I have a flood of emotions. I think about Granny. I was in the kitchen the other day and I'm like, wow, she's not here, but she is here because Miss Johnny Mays is on her way to the Super Bowl. Granny is on her way to the Super Bowl. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Aw.
Otis and the team are making sure they represent for High Point, teaming up with some local favorites like the Archdale Bakery and Kim Young's Beauty Supply to help bring their products to Tampa as well.
I absolutely love that. I feel like there's always a Triad connection somehow, some way, with whether it's the Super Bowl or any other big event. There's someone from this area that always has some kind of connection. That's so cool.
Always, man. It was just a pleasure to speak with Otis and his family. They have such a beautiful tradition. They have such a beautiful thing going, and for them to be able to fulfill this opportunity and to continue their grandmother's legacy and represent for High Point at the same time, it's just a wonderful thing.
I think the most important question, though, I think we're all wondering, Sean included, did you try the food and how good was it? Scale 1 to 10.
Back.
Yeah, you have to report
Scale
back.
of 1 to 10, I would definitely give it. My mom's food is only the only 10 I've ever had, so I'm gonna give them a strong 9. I'm giving them a strong 9. I had the barbecue ribs, I had greens, macaroni, and strawberry banana pudding, and it was delicious. Absolutely one of the best meals I've had this month by far.
You didn't bring any extra for the newsroom?
Oh well.
It's already in your belly. It's already gone.
Yeah, that thing. You don't want it now. Trust me.
And they're at the Super Bowl, so we can't get it now.
Oh, but they'll be back, and when they come back, we can definitely take a group trip.
That'd be amazing.
Make it happen.
Well, the appetite for wings has grown amid a comfort food during the pandemic. And with the Super Bowl finally here, consumption is expected to increase to a record 1.4 billion wings. Now, that's according to the National Chicken Council. It comes at a cost, though. Wings prices have taken off 20% this year. So what's your favorite type of wing, guys?
Probably honey barbecue for me.
What you think, Sean?
Yeah.
I like I don't know if you guys have ever been to East Coast wings, but I like the mango habanero. I like a little sweet, little spicy. Like honey buffalo too. I'm always a fan of some honey buffalo wings. So I like a little sweet, a little spicy.
Yeah, I can definitely get with the mango habanero, but my favorite is whatever the hottest flavor you have at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I love hot wings. Like
You have
hot.
a glass of milk with you while you eat
Nah,
it?
dog,
or-
you just got to make it happen. Got to toughen it out,
So I want to ask all of you this. I like the boneless
Oh
wings.
my God.
So does that count? Does that count as a
How
wing?
old are you?
I'm channeling my inner 10-year-old.
Let's say, are you 4?
Well, no, 10 years old. I feel like 10 years old is a cutoff when you can have boneless wings.
Come on,
Does
man.
that count as a wing?
It's a
Sean,
chicken
does it count
nugget.
as a wing? Say yes.
It's got to count, man. I mean, it's on the menu as a boneless wing. Now, it's not my favorite kind of wing. I like the bone in there. My favorite actually, I don't really have a favorite. I like the drums and the flats. My wife's favorite are the flats, but I'll eat either one as long as they got the bone in them.
Okay. Amanda, what'd you say your favorite was again?
I don't like chicken wings.
All right.
Amanda!
Oh.
We're going to have to wrap this up. I don't know what's happening here today, but I don't
We just
like
took
it.
a
Like the
big
only
turn
thing
here on
I
this
don't
Facebook
like
Live.
I don't like it.
I eat a lot of food. I love food. I'm not picky, but I just never liked wings.
That's okay. It's okay. Maybe try one.
But I'm
today
all
and
about
see.
the chips and dip. That's my thing.
So you don't like boneless wings either?
Okay, if I were to have wings, I'd probably
Thank you.
have boneless wings.
Thank you.
She doesn't like wings.
Sports department
Her-
unites there.
That's fine. Y'all been colluding anyway. It's fine.
And speaking of, obviously there have been several host cities for the Super Bowl. Time to take a little deeper dive into exactly that.
The NFL often plays favorites when it comes to where it plays the Super Bowl. Which big cities have hosted the most big games? Coming in at number 3, Los Angeles, 7 times. At number 2, it's New Orleans with 10. And the city which has hosted the most Super Bowls? Miami, 11 times, including Super Bowl 54 in 2020. There's only one current NFL city which has neither hosted a Super Bowl nor had its team play in one, Cleveland. And that's the history of which big cities have hosted the most big games.
I think we all, Amanda included, we were like, what? I think we all knew, Sean included, the one team that has not hosted or been in a Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl. Cleveland Browns. They're getting better. They're slowly inching up. They're slowly.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They got a couple championships, NFL championships with Jim Brown, but they don't have any. No Super Bowls. So, they're working on it, right?
It's a work in progress.
As long as my Ravens have something to say about it, it ain't happening. But anyway, we'll keep it moving.
And speaking of the Super Bowl, like we are this entire hour, many people were unsure if it would even happen this year. We actually talked about this before the show.
We did.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell talked about how much went into making football possible this year.
This was an extraordinary collective effort. There's so many people that had to work together to get this done. There were doubters, obviously. There were people that didn't believe we could do it. Obviously, we had a lot of unknowns ourselves. But we believed that staying on schedule and working towards trying to get 256 games done, as we sort of say shorthand, avoid the asterisk. And I think we were able to do that. This was a year where we were all challenged, we all had to adapt, and we had to find innovative solutions to challenges. And I couldn't be prouder that the NFLPA and the NFL worked together in, I think, unprecedented fashion.
All right, so after I watched that, I just have one question for everybody. How do you become the NFL commissioner? You know what I'm saying? It pays great. It seems like a good gig.
John, you have any answers for us?
No, I mean, I put my application in every year. I don't know where it goes, but I try. I try.
I feel like if anybody knew, it would be Sean.
I think so, yeah. You're the guy to ask. Maybe we'll find out next year.
Yeah.
But keep me in the loop.
I don't really know. I mean, I know they've got like, a board like with all the owners. So maybe they decide. I don't know. They're so rarely appointed. I mean, we've had 3 in the last 60 years or so. So it's almost like a lifetime job.
And so I do want to ask you guys briefly before we move on. The start of the NFL season, obviously COVID, the pandemic. Did you guys think the season would happen? I was unsure. I thought we would make it to this day, but I could have also seen it being canceled or postponed maybe indefinitely until the summer or some other different time of the year. What do you guys think?
I think I saw the NFL, but I didn't expect college, or had question marks around that. But with pro, these players are getting paid. You can kind of protect them a little bit more than college kids, but I'm happy it's here.
Yeah, absolutely. When all of this started and, there was rumors, are we going to play, are we not going to play, I knew that the NFL was going to do everything in its power to make sure that everything went as smoothly as possible. And that's pretty much what happened. So kudos to the NFL for sticking to the timeline and getting us to this day.
Sean, what do you think?
Similar to Jalen. Once baseball made it through, I knew that the NFL was going to make it through because, I mean, I think the NFL will probably be the only league that actually made money this year as opposed to losing it. I know the cap is supposed to go down because they didn't have the fans in the stands, but I mean, they were almost on TV, 5 days a week during some weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point. And back to the game itself, Tom Brady made some big news this past offseason, leaving New England after 20 years to sign with Tampa Bay. He's thrown for more than 4,600 yards and 40 touchdowns, the most for both in a single season in 5 years. Heading into his 10th Super Bowl appearance, 10th, still can't get over that. Brady gives us his thoughts on how this is different from his previous games.
And I've been a part of that ultimate goal 6 other times, so they're all different. They've all meant something a little bit different to me. They've all been very unique in their own way. And it'd just be cool to accomplish it this time. I don't compare them to the other times. Those were all magical moments in my life, and no one could ever take those away from me. And hopefully we can finish this season strong and, win a Super Bowl. That's why we're here. That's why we're playing, and make for a really magical season for us.
Love him or hate him, he has quite the amazing legacy. As we mentioned, this will be his 10th appearance in the Super Bowl, and with so many trips to the big game, his name is atop many of the all-time records. He's at the very top with more than 2,800 yards passing, leads single-game passing yards with 505, and touchdowns with 18. And of course, the big and most important one, most Super Bowl titles with 6.
You can't win the Super Bowl if you don't score. The fewest points scored by one team during the big game, 3. The 1971 Dolphins, losers in Super Bowl 6, and the 2018 Rams, which lost Super Bowl 53. The most points a team has scored on Super Sunday, 55, courtesy of the 1990 49ers at Super Bowl 24. And scoring first helps. Teams which put the first points on the scoreboard win the big game 67% of the time. Scoring 30 or more points almost guarantees a win. Those teams are 28-3. That's the inside scoop on Super Bowl scoring.
So that's great news for the Chiefs, right? They score all the time. Let's go with that, yeah?
Yeah, buddy, let's keep moving.
But I think we all can agree that game, the Rams, a couple years back, that was a
stinker.
Not a good one.
That was a stinker. No. Shout out Tom Brady, though, man. Yeah. Just keep getting it done.
He does, somehow, some way. If he wins this year, it's a 7 out of 10 attempts. I mean,
it's incredible. You know, I was looking at this, and Tom Brady has been to the Super Bowl in like 55% of his eligible seasons because he missed that 1 year and he wasn't playing 1 year. That's 55% is higher than Shaq's all-time free throw percentage, and he shoots those every single game. And some players don't ever make a Super Bowl, so that's just amazing.
Luke, it's like what you said. Love him or hate him, you got to respect
you
his game and what he's been able to do.
You really do. One more quick thing about the Chiefs. I promise I'm not trying to overthrow this show with Kansas City, but I saw a stat that was so impressive. In the playoffs, they've scored a touchdown on nearly 50% of their drives, so I do think if they score early and often, I mean, obviously more points, you win the game, but I think that'll be a big key to success.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Luke. I think if Kansas City scores 14 points in the first quarter, it could be ugly.
But we know what Brady's done in a big deficit. He always comes alive late.
28-3?
28-3. Sorry, Atlanta Falcons fans.
Not sorry.
Actually, good point. NFC South, we don't like the Falcons. Moving along now to the college ranks, former NC State and Eastern Guilford High School star Torry Holt knows all too well what it's like playing in the Super Bowl. Holt was drafted by the then St. Louis Rams, weird to say that, in 1999 with the 6th overall pick. He would go on to play 10 seasons with that franchise and another with Jacksonville, finishing with 920 catches for more than 13,000 yards. He also played in 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them. We caught up with Holt and got his thoughts on what players are going through right about now, an hour ahead of kickoff.
Just trying to make sure that they have some kind of calm and reserve, and then making sure that they are fully engaged and in tune with what their responsibilities are when they go out on the field. So that way they can go play and play fast and play with confidence. That's what's going on. But my experience, though, I have to tell you my experience. When I first walked out on the football field to warm up, to get ready for the Super Bowl 34 game against the Titans, man, I had to hydrate. I had to go back in and hydrate, and get a shot to get myself built back up because I had spent so much energy because I was so jacked up and so hyped and excited about the opportunity to play in a Super Bowl. So guys have to calm their emotions, again, dial into what their responsibility is, and then go out and play freely, be happy, and enjoy the moment and ride every emotional wave that it brings to you. Ride all of those waves because you may not have an opportunity to be in this position ever again.
Yeah, first I want to say Torry Holt was one of my favorite players growing up. I am from St. Louis, Missouri, so I love everything about his game.
Including his fingers.
Especially his finger, bro. If you look back, you could see, I think it's his middle finger, but it's like completely bent over his knuckles. That's a Hall of Fame hand.
That's what it takes to win a Super Bowl, I guess, yeah.
I just cannot imagine being a player going to the biggest stage. I would be so excited. There's so many emotions. So I would have a hard time to calm down.
And piggyback off that, do you think Tom Brady is numb to it almost, going to it 10 times? Like you've been there, done that one, too. I mean, you have to have some kind of emotion, though, still.
Yeah.
He's not a robot.
Okay, so if you've been to the Super Bowl 10 times and you've won 6, I'm pretty sure there's no way he's feeling, I mean, he might.
Not nervous,
there's no way he's feeling any type of nerves, but it's more probably a feeling of gratitude and kind of like accomplishment at this point. Just soaking everything in because he knows this could possibly be his last one.
And he's probably so locked in at this point. He's been now 10 times. He probably knows I got to be locked in at this moment. I can enjoy this moment, kind of like maybe compartmentalizing all of the.
And almost like a preseason game for him at this point.
Hey man, I'm telling you, if anybody knows, it's Tom Brady, right?
That is, you can't. You go ahead, Sean.
I was just saying, what a gift for that Bucs locker room because the Chiefs, they were there last year. It's most of the same team. The Bucs, there are a lot of young guys, and they've been, for most of their careers with the Bucs, they've just been losing and losing and losing. To have someone who's been there and been there so many times to kind of guide them through, that's got to be worth it.
I remember very quickly when the Bucs won the NFC Championship game. Mike Evans is like, "Oh, there was a ceremony." He's like, he was walking off. I'm like, "No, come back." He's like, "Oh, we celebrate." I didn't know. I'm new to this. I didn't know that. So having a guy like that, like you said, Sean, having Brady in the locker room, that's big.
And did you hear the story about Levante David? They said he was emotional after the game, after the NFC Championship game, and Brady came over to him and was like, "What are you crying for? We're not done. We're still playing. We got more things to do." And that's the type of leadership, and I think that's pretty much why they brought Tom Brady in, so you can get that in your locker room.
And clearly it's paid dividends. And being a Super Bowl winner, 7-time All-Pro, and one of the best wide receivers to play the game, we also got Holt's thoughts on tonight's big matchup.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be. I think all of us as fans is going to watch it. I think we're going to see great action on both sides of the ball by both teams. I think they're really good. These are the best two teams left in the National Football League, right? So they got him for a reason because they're darn good. Very well coached, very disciplined. Two great leaders at the main position, which is the quarterback spots. Physical defenses that hit you. Guys that, they got some unsung heroes that can step up and make plays. So this football game will have everything. But I'm going to go with Patty Mahomes. I'm going to go with the young boy. I like the way he plays. I like his smarts. I like his stamina. I like his toughness. I think he has the goods, the smarts, the control to really battle it out with Tommy Brady.
Tommy
terrific.
And Patty.
Tommy and Patty going head to head. Be sure to tune in tonight in the next hour or so. If you had to pick, we're not doing predictions yet, Sean, but I guess it's kind of what quarterback would you take in this scenario right now? Would you take the 43-year-old Brady or the 25-year-old Mahomes?
It's tough because they're both kind of guys where you're like, never bet against Tom Brady, never bet against Patrick Mahomes. But personally, I got to take the best quarterback playing right now, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
I like that.
Well, Torry Holt is a Super Bowl champion, but how good is he at making those picks? We'll find out later tonight.
We will.
Tim Ward played high school football here in the Triad at High Point Central. He has his chance to take the field tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs. WFMY News 2's photojournalist Kyle Conley caught up with his mother, Kimberly Taylor, and got her thought ahead of Super Bowl 55.
I would be really proud, of course, as I am every time we see him go out to do anything, whether it's practice, whether we just see a picture of him in his uniform, in his jersey. We know the work that he's put into it, and we know that he's blessed to be in the position he's in, and we're just really proud and really excited for him. We've watched him from when he was playing Pop Warner football. And so we've just seen how he's grown as a young man and into this athlete that he is. And we're just all proud and excited for him and rooting for him and praying for him and cheering for him. We're his biggest fans. We just want him to be able to enjoy the moment. I know that he's worked really hard to get here. He's come back from injury to get here. His second season with the Chiefs, and we got to see him play, actually get out on the field and get a sack. And that was super exciting just to see it on television. So we're just looking forward to being able to see it in person when he is out there on the field. And right now, we'll just enjoy watching the Super Bowl and watching the Chiefs win their second back-to-back.
That's another Triad connection. That's the second
is.
time. Isn't that incredible? That's so cool to see local kids, local men, or local men or women, whatever the sport is, make it to the biggest stage there is.
She must be so proud.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine playing in the Super Bowl?
No.
Come on, man.
Or watching your kid play in the Super Bowl and see what they've accomplished.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I have two boys, and imagining that one of them would one day make it to the Super Bowl, the World Series, being president, whatever the highest stage of what they seek is, you got to be a proud parent at that point.
You got to train your son now, get him going early so he can be the next Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady.
But for those Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals, his favorite team. I'm having him hit those 5-yard outs. We're going to work on those 50-yard bombs eventually.
Hey, punters get Super Bowl rings too, Sean. Just so you know.
Punters and kickers are people and players too. That's a very good point. This next bit we're about to show you is very interesting, something I never knew about incentives for each and every player playing in the big game. Take a listen.
They play to win, but getting paid a little extra isn't bad either. Players on last year's winning Super Bowl team received a bonus of $124,000. The losers, $62,000. Still, the losers of the biggest game of the year earn less than the winners of an exhibition game, the Pro Bowl. Super Bowl bonuses have come a long way from the first Super Bowl. But adjusted for inflation, those first bonuses aren't much different than what players earn today. When it comes to extra money, that's how Super Bowl winners and losers measure up.
So
I'd be happy just to go.
So if we do like a really good job here at work, does that mean we get a $60,000 bonus?
Exactly
All of us?
what I was about
We're all
to
doing a really good job, guys. I think we all Larry, Kim, I think we all
That's what I was about to say. I know y'all are watching. We need a Super Bowl bonus.
Sean, what do you think about that?
62,000 just for showing up. That sounds good to me. So sign me up.
I think we're all on the same page.
Triad native Jennifer King made history becoming the first black female to be named NFL assistant coach. Photojournalist Brian Hall caught up with her on the groundbreaking career.
It meant a lot. I put in a lot of hard work over the past few years to get to this point, and I was excited to be here in Washington, and then did a good job with Randy, and he did a good job with me, and here we are. So I'm definitely excited for this next chapter. I think when I initially went to the Panthers, I thought I was going for 2 days for a rookie mini camp and ended up being there for 5 months or 4 months. So I think after I kept getting called back, the first time getting called back after the rookie mini camp, that's when I really saw that, maybe I can do this because I'm here. It's up to me now what I'm going to do with this opportunity. But the hardest part of getting in the building and being there, has been done. So now it's really up to me. I really think this is something that, 10, 15 years down the road, you can look back on and I'll really, feel the magnitude of it. For now, I really don't. I've been in the building. I've been working with the guys already. So it doesn't really feel a lot different for me now. I'm obviously excited for the opportunity and excited to still be here. But that's something I'll probably look back on later in life to really appreciate this moment.
We'll have history tonight in Tampa when Sarah Thomas takes the field. She'll become the first woman to be an official in the Super Bowl, working as the down judge in the 8-person officiating crew. When the Super Bowl will also have a pair of female coaches with both Lori Locust and Marla Java DeFar, part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers staff. It's really cool to see all this happen. And for them, they probably they probably see it as a big deal, but they're also just doing their jobs.
Exactly. I think that's the main point, though. It's not that it's not a big deal, but we need to make it needs to get to a point where it's just people doing their jobs.
Because for them, when they're out on the field, they see it as, this is my everyday. Just because I'm a girl, it doesn't mean anything. They're doing their job. But to everybody else, it's a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And, it was funny, during the interview process with Jennifer King, they asked her if she thinks she's being a trailblazer, and she said it doesn't. Maybe that was part of what she said in the package. She said it doesn't feel like it, but I think down the road when she really looks back at what she's done or what she is doing for the women in the future of the NFL, it really is a big deal, and it's all props to her for following her dream and accomplishing that.
It'll probably hit her in a couple of years, wow, that happened.
And I think her family and down the line, they'll take more appreciation for her accomplishments than she ever will, just because she's living in the moment. But her, like I said, her family and everyone that really, her support system, I know this is a major deal and a huge accomplishment.
Right.
While we're sorry. I was just going to say, props to Ron Rivera for kind of guiding her along, bringing her onto the Panthers and now onto Washington, and all the coaches and staffs across the league that are bringing women in, embracing them, letting them not putting them down, letting them share their knowledge with players, because there's no reason they can't be as knowledgeable as the next coach. So it's great.
And there's a quote I've read that I really like. Here's my cheesy quote, but it really does ring true. It says, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible," and she literally is the definition of that.
Right.
Do you have that on a sign in your house or something?
On my mirror every day I look at it. Yeah,
that's real cute.
Yeah, it's good motivation.
Well, while we're preparing for Super Bowl 55, of course, things are going to look very different this year due to the pandemic, but some lucky few will still get the chance to see the big game in person.
Yeah, and I was one of those lucky few last year getting to watch my Chiefs win it all in Super Bowl 54. Here's a look back. The Super Bowl, there's nothing like it. It's truly the greatest show on earth. Really, it's the fabric of America. And imagine if your lifelong team finally made it to the biggest stage. So many emotions, right? And as a lifelong Chiefs fan myself, I was lucky enough to attend last year's Super Bowl down in Miami. So let me show you what that once-in-a-lifetime experience is like from a fan's perspective. The first step actually arriving to the host city, where you're greeted immediately at the airport, and then comes the moment when you finally arrive at the stadium itself as the reality and the jitters slowly sink in. But when you get inside and find yourself a little thirsty, be ready to fork over some cash. Yeah, you'll need a few President Jacksons if you want a couple of premium beers, but remember, it is the Super Bowl after all. All right, so the next step, finding those coveted seats. But of course, my dad and I had to take a mandatory selfie, otherwise it never happened, right? A true surreal moment for the both of us once we landed in section 249, row 9, seat 9. We have officially arrived here to Super Bowl 54. I gotta be honest, it made me a little emotional. Just to be here, sitting here, so grateful to be here at Super Bowl 54 with my dad. Dad, say hello. Hey. And then it becomes real as your team finally takes the field. So many feels during this moment as kickoff looms. Then you fast forward to maybe an even larger moment than the game itself, the bigger-than-life halftime performance. Yeah, Shakira and J-Lo were even more incredible in person, I promise. But this right here is what you dream of. World champions in a moment I will never forget, shared right alongside my dad. I tell you, that makes me smile every single time. So now the question remains, can Mahomes and the Chiefs run it back? My dad and I surely hope so. Or will the most accomplished quarterback of all time, and Tom Brady, earn his 7th ring? I tell you, I'm not quite sure, but I cannot wait to find out right here on WFMY News 2 this Sunday at 6:30. Watching that celebration just gets me, it's just the most amazing feeling ever. I mean, your team's won the Super Bowl before, and like how you can't really put it into words.
You can't describe it. It's just it's a moment of just pure jubilation, and it's exactly that's what it is. Like I said, when I was watching, I was pacing around my house. Yeah. I'm sitting there with my mom. So real quick, my dad actually went to the Super Bowl. My Ravens won and didn't take me because he's a 49ers fan. But fair enough to him. I had practice. It was my senior year of high school, whatever. I'll give him that pass. But it was just unbelievable to actually watch the confetti come down because all the history behind your organization, especially with the Chiefs. I know you guys
50 years.
50-something years. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. The crazy thing is my dad, for those that know the backstory, he went to the Chiefs' last Super Bowl win 50 years ago, so it came full circle. He was able to see it 50 years later with me, his son, and in person. It's funny, in 3rd grade, I remember my sister sent me a picture of this a couple months ago. She said, look at your bucket list that you wrote in 3rd grade. One's to watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and it actually happened. Very
too bad it had to take
how
many years after 3rd grade?
So I will say one thing. Yes, I'm very excited about the Chiefs being here. I think you've said to me before, act like you've been there, but I've never been here.
But you've been here now, so I need some couth.
It's hard to, because so many years of failure from the Chiefs, it's still weird to actually have them be good. So, if I run around the newsroom screaming when they win tonight, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm a Panthers fan, so I've seen them go to the Super Bowl twice, and both times lose in pretty crushing fashion. I remember losing to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 38 back in 2004. Yep. I was in 4th grade, I think, bawled my eyes out all night because they had won the game, and then Tom Brady, as Tom Brady does, drives all the way downfield to kick the game-winning field goal. Broke my little heart, and I wanted to not go to school the next day. So there's the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows of making the Super Bowl.
And we will talk about the day after the Super Bowl, whether it should be a holiday or not, a little bit later in the show. But Sean, talk to us about the commercial side of things for the big game.
Well, not everybody watches for the game, and maybe not everybody watches for the halftime show, but, maybe you're into the food or the commercials. Now, it's the single biggest advertising day of the year, and I wanted to know, is that effective?
They can be funny. They can be sincere. But for $5.5 million and just 30 seconds of airtime, are they worth it?
That's really not a lot of time to connect with someone. So yeah, you want to make it memorable.
Sarah McSween is the president of a marketing consultancy firm, and she says companies can spend up to a year crafting these ads.
Bottom line for all companies, they want to connect with customers, or you wouldn't be spending that much time on the ad spot or creating it.
The way they connect to their customers varies, with some ads opting for humor, while others pull on the heartstrings.
The Google Loretta ad from last year.
Remember?
I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Because it was so emotional, it made it very, very memorable.
It's one thing to be memorable, but for $5.5 million, are Super Bowl ads even worth it?
So I think the answer is it depends.
Professor Derek Rucker co-leads the Kellogg Super Bowl ad review at Northwestern University. They've been grading and evaluating Super Bowl commercials since 2005.
Did you give a message that consumers actually respond favorably to? And that's, going back to our ad review, that's what we're doing. We're saying, well, I don't want to know that you showed up. I want to know if you showed up the right way.
And the best brands squeeze the most value out of their investment by using the Super Bowl's platform to launch entire ad campaigns.
The Snickers, you're not you when you're hungry.
Use Snickers. Better?
You'll love that ad. Like, that's not a one-hit wonder. Like, that built an entire campaign.
The smart brands figure out that this ad is just part of their campaign throughout the year, or it might be a multi-year campaign.
With over 60 commercials airing during the 4-hour broadcast, the true cream of the crop stand out and are remembered long after the game is over.
I mean, the best often stick with you, and you're still talking about them years later, which is incredible.
Okay, you guys were having so much fun out here. I had to crash the party.
Yes. Thanks for coming.
This is like the best thing ever. We got to do this for more stuff.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay. I want to know, how are you feeling about a little trivia? Because you've said so many facts and figures already. We've got some other questions for you.
How you feel, Amanda? You excited?
Yes, but I'm nervous too.
Okay, well, you should definitely get this first one.
Okay.
Because you've already covered
Great, thanks for
the
putting a lot of
shucks.
pressure on me.
Are we going in order, or how are we just blurting out? What are we doing?
I think you're just blurting out,
All
right?
right.
So
Okay,
we don't have
okay.
Jeopardy buzzers here.
Sean
It's
has a
just-
delay, so
Oh,
he is at a
shit.
disadvantage. We're sorry, Sean.
Okay, Sean. We'll give you the first one then, just to be nice.
All right,
Only
can I have
Sean
the
gets
first
to
one?
answer this one. Oh, no, you get the hard one.
No.
Okay, you're the expert. You can do this. Here you go, Sean. Which city has hosted the most Super Bowls, and how many of them have they hosted?
Oh, we had a story about this.
Oh, we did have a story about this. I wasn't listening exactly, but I was gonna. If I had to guess, I wouldn't say New Orleans at like 9.
You were so close.
I got one.
Okay.
We can butt in, right? Like
Yep. I'll tell you first off, New Orleans is second at 10.
San Francisco?
No, it's
Miami.
Los Angeles at 11.
First off, San Francisco is too cold.
There we go. It's February.
Miami.
Florida, the expert. She got it. Miami.
Oh, it was.
11.
Well, I
remember
kind of knew.
that.
Yeah, I kind of knew when you said I should know this, and there's only a couple in Florida, and then I thought about it.
Okay, you at home might like sports, but you don't know all the stats and stuff. How about this one? I'm curious. What do you think? What was the average ticket price for the first game between the AFL and the NFL? Was it, I'll give you multiple choice,
Oh, good.
Good.
$5, $12, $50, or $112?
$5.
$5.
$5.
I like $12.
You would think 5, right? Because that was so long ago. Yep,
Ooh, we're right.
these two are right. $12.
Oh, it's backwards. 21, so he's wrong.
He's wrong. He is.
There we go. 12. Amanda, you're 2 for 2. Okay.
Okay.
I was a complete guess.
So we've gone from $12 to woo,
$2,200.
what is the average price of tickets this year?
8,000.
10,000.
I'm gonna say about 3,500.
Okay,
I
you
guess
way
they
off.
have-
I'm off.
You way off. What'd you say, Sean?
I said 12,000.
Amanda.
15,000?
Luke is the closest. It is $7,500. That's
a lot of
still
money.
a lot of money.
I went that far.
That's a lot of money.
So is it worth it for that much
But-
money?
I think it is, yes. If it's your favorite team that you've grown up watching your whole life.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
like a trip to Italy.
If it's not a, but this you
But
got to
it's
think
the
though. This is
Super
a once in a
Bowl.
lifetime thing though.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
don't think
absolutely
these people
be
that go
offended.
every year though. Like
That-
I mean, I wouldn't
How
pay
do they
them
make
here.
that much money? First off, I need that job.
Tell me what they're doing. Yeah.
There's a group of men, like 3 men, who go every single year, regardless of the game. So they've been spending more and more money forever and ever. That's crazy.
But I think if you go every year, that's pretty much as nostalgic as going once to watch your team. You would think because you're there and you're a part of history every year.
So speaking of your teams, which teams have had the most wins at the Super Bowl?
Not mine.
Process of elimination.
Y'all on the way up.
I'm getting there.
It's a tie. There's 2 teams that have had the most wins.
Probably
The Steelers and the Patriots.
Yep. Good job,
Yep,
guys. How
Steelers
many
and
wins?
Patriots.
6.
Look at you.
Hey,
I
Jalen,
gotta
how does that
redeem
feel to
myself.
admit that on TV?
You know, it is what it is. They haven't won. We won since the last time they did, so that's fine with me.
Okay. Which teams have had the most losses?
The Bills.
The Browns.
Bills.
It's got to be the Bills.
None of y'all are right.
Okay.
Lions.
No.
Good guesses.
Bills.
Let's take our time.
49ers?
Oh, Super Bowl losses. Okay.
Yes, Super Bowl losses.
Sorry.
49ers?
I thought just losses, not going to Super Bowl.
Miami? No, not Miami. I don't know.
You guys at home have a guess? Put in the Facebook comment below. We want to hear it.
Pause. Let's see if we have any comments. Or can
This
Callie,
is
can our
the tough
producer,
one.
can our producer tell us in our ear if anyone's commented? No comments?
Okay.
Don't be shy, guys.
Guys, please give
What
them
about
a
the
hit.
Rams? No?
Our producer in our ear says it's obvious. Oh, that's because you know the answer, Callie.
Okay, I will tell you, it is another tie. The Patriots is one of them.
I was going to guess that.
Oh.
5 losses.
5 losses, okay. I mean, you go, 9 times?
Yeah.
You got to lose, right?
True.
Well, you go, what have they been, 11 times then?
Yeah.
And the Broncos.
Okay.
Oh, yes, John.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And then Peyton lost 1 too, so there it is. That makes sense.
Okay, but we don't want to really deal with the losses. Let's think about the winners here in this big, giant trophy. First off, everyone knows what it's called, right?
The Lombardi.
Okay, thank you.
Lombardi Trophy.
How much does it weigh?
55 pounds.
That heavy?
No.
No.
Like
Amanda?
Those are
30
big. Those are
pounds.
big men holding that trophy.
30
Sean,
pounds.
okay, 30. And Sean?
like I would say like 20.
I was going to say 20 or like, I can't have the same answer, so 25.
Look, this thing is deceiving. It is just 7 pounds.
That was my bad. That was my second
Oh.
guess. Yeah, exactly.
But
No way.
it is made by a really fancy company. Do you guys know who?
Tiffany?
Swarovski.
Tiffany & Co.?
Yeah. Look at
Look
that.
at you.
That's the one answer I get?
So that is like a really expensive 7-pound thing.
Yeah. Do we know how much it is or how much it costs or?
It is
50,000?
Priceless.
It is priceless.
Absolutely.
Great answer.
That's what you say when you don't have that stat.
There it
We're going to
is.
Google it though. I'll get it to you later.
Well done.
Okay. Who is the oldest player before Tom Brady to play in the Super Bowl? He was 42 years old.
It wasn't Breeze.
This is a hard one.
Can you give us a hint?
Is it a
feel like
kicker?
when I hear the
Do you
names,
know
I'm
the
not-
position?
It is a kicker.
Is it a kicker? Is it?
Colts.
Vinatieri?
Vinatieri?
No, he's.
Vanderjet?
I don't know the other Colts.
Matt
Sean, any
Stover.
guesses?
Matt Stover. He used to kick for my Ravens. That is crazy.
Well, guys, I'm curious. This is my one personal piece of trivia. What are you looking forward to most in the game today?
I think just the matchup between Brady and Mahomes, just to compare those two, because there's such an age difference. We said it's the biggest age difference ever in the history of the game. Just to see how those two compete. I know they're not going against each other literally, but
they are. It is like a face-off.
Just to watch those, the youngest kind of and the oldest kind of go head to head. That's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah, I would say I'm looking forward to seeing if Tom Brady will be able to pull it out again. I think that's just what I'm most intrigued by. I'm very intrigued by sustained excellence and just the level of play that he's been at and his age. And he left New England. They had they had some turmoil up that way, and for him to be able to get to the Super Bowl is one thing, but for him to win it as well, that'll just be icing on the cake. So that's what I'm looking to see.
And I got to say, you guys did so well in this trivia. It is clear we've got a group of good experts here to walk you through the game.
Thank you so much.
So let's get back to what else we can expect.
But before we do that, Sean, your guess or your favorite thing about the game, and then Amanda.
Oh yeah, the thing I'm most intrigued about is just who's going to be that player that no one expects that makes that big play that changes the game. Because every year there's always one that we weren't talking about for the 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. So that's my interest. Maybe it'll be the guy from here, from High Point. Who knows?
I think it's going to be Antonio Brown. That's what I think.
I want to see the defense, because whichever defense can stop Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Curious to see which one will measure up.
That will be interesting.
Absolutely. Well, most people love the Super Bowl and everything that comes with it. The game, the food, the halftime show, the commercials, and the gathering of less than 10 people because, COVID. But what I hated most about the Super Bowl growing up was having to go to school on Monday morning. So it got my wheels turning, and I asked some faces you may know and some you may not if Super Bowl Monday should be a national holiday.
Yes, I really do think it should be. For years, I've thought that the Super Bowl should be on a Saturday because no one wants to celebrate and watch the game and have a lot of fun and then have to wake up the next morning and go to work.
Well, yes and no.
yes, because who's going to do much work anyway on Monday? Now, the boss probably shouldn't say that, but people are, even if they're in, they might be phoning it in, so they're not at their best. So yeah, why don't we have a holiday there? But no, because people are not doing enough work already, right? I'm a boss. I've got to have people work.
If the Carolina Panthers were in it, then I would probably be up all night celebrating. But since it's not a hometown team, I'll go to work on Monday morning.
I think so. I mean, when you just look at the raw numbers, half the country watches the Super Bowl. 180 plus million people are supposed to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. Probably, 30 million of those people are going to be sick on Monday. So why are we pretending?
Well, you know me. I'm all for any kind of holiday. So I looked at it. I think, look, the day after New Year's should be a holiday. The day after your birthday should be a holiday. The day after Christmas, the day after Thanksgiving, the day after 4th of July. Like, I am all for the more holidays we get, the better, in my opinion. So yes, the day after the Super Bowl should absolutely be a national holiday.
Yeah, guys, I don't know who we need to talk to about this, but we need to find somebody to write a petition. And guess what? I'll be the first one to sign it.
I think we all will together, right, Sean?
Yeah, like the Declaration of Independence.
It wouldn't apply to us anyway, but regardless.
No,
News never stops.
We don't do holidays normally, so.
I think Kevin Kennedy, briefly, he was on to something. After every holiday, let's make another holiday
The day
to recover
after
from
your,
that holiday.
The day after your birthday, holiday. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love
Let's
it.
face it, people are going to be tired tomorrow. You're not going to get their best self, so just make it a holiday.
And even like our boss said, people on Monday they're phoning it in anyway. So we might as well just
Larry Kim, if I'm not here tomorrow.
Congress.
Kidding.
Somebody.
Okay, so very quickly, we're running out of time. We all have our own predictions. I will go last. So Manny, you may take the floor. Who are you taking tonight in the game, and what's the final score?
Okay, I'm not saying this because I'm from Florida, but I think the Bucks, 27-24. I think it's going to be close. And I think you got to realize, we talked about this earlier, but it's a home game for them, basically. I think that's going to be a huge advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Amanda. I'm with you. I'm going to go 30-21 Bucks because if it's close,
That close.
If
The disrespect.
But listen, wait. Because if it's a close game, I really do think Kansas City has too many weapons for Tampa Bay to be able to stop them. So I think the history of Tom trying to be 43, winning the Super Bowl, winning his 7th Super Bowl, as well as being the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl at his home stadium. I think those are all things he's trying to check off his bucket list, and I can't ever go against Tom Brady anymore.
A lot of people say that. That's fair. Sean, I think I know what you're picking.
Look, very solid points, Amanda and Jalen, but in the end, I think it's going to be Chiefs like 33, Bucks 28. I just don't think the Bucks have enough juice on offense, and I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes until he proves me wrong. I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, even with Tom Brady on the other side.
I love you, Sean. I love that prediction. You guys know who I'm going with.
Just give us the
obviously.
score. Just give us the score.
Let me give you a 5-minute spiel. All right, I'll be quick. Chiefs 33, Bucks 24. I think the Chiefs take an early lead because Brady in his 9 Super Bowls that he's played in, this is a crazy stat, he's only scored 3 points total in those 9 games in the first quarter. So I think with that being said, Chiefs jump out to a quick lead. Buccaneers do close it, make it close at the end, but the Chiefs hold on. Back-to-back Super Bowl champs for the first time since 2003 when Tom Brady did it with the Patriots. But crazy, huh? Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I
can see it going either way.
Like Sean said, you can't bet against Mahomes, but how do you bet against Tom Brady with Mahomes? I don't know.
That's why it's going to be a great one.
Let's see what happens 6:30.
But that's all the time we have here on our WFMY News 2 Facebook live stream. We appreciate you guys watching. Remember, the game kicks off in half an hour. We are so close, people, at 6:30 p.m. And, of course, the best part of all, right here on WFMY News 2.
And during the game, follow our Super Bowl 55 blog on our website, WFMYnews2.com. We'll also have updates on our Twitter account at WFMY. And be sure to tune in tonight at 11. We'll have a full game recap for you and post-game action.